Very good afternoon to all of you. I'd like to thank the Colombo Tea Traders Association and the committee co-chairs, Mr. Ganesh and Anil, for organizing this conference and the invitation given to Upasi and the opportunity for me here to share the Indian perspective. It's a very apt theme today, lifestyle and livelihood. And especially coming from a producer body, this session describing more about the impact that this industry has on the livelihoods of people is much needed. In India too, we have about 2.3 million people that are directly employed, either small growers or employees of the plantation sector. In the plantation sector, if you include their family members and other people dependent, you have little over 10 million people dependent on this sector. 60% of them are women, and these are employment provided in rural and remote areas. So it's important that all stakeholders look at this from the impact it has on the livelihoods. In the primary challenge, a lot of it has been said by many of the speakers earlier today, but cannot be stressed enough, is the in real terms, prices have been declining over the last 2 decades. And this is the major bottleneck that we face in passing down equitably the right price down the value chain. Incidentally, India drew its price sharing formula, the model, from the reasonable price formula of Sri Lanka that was here in 1957. In 2003, India brought on this price sharing formula by amending our tea marketing control order. This worked similar to the lines of what is there in Sri Lanka. It worked really well in good market conditions, but when during challenging market conditions, again, this formula was under stress. The government then later brought on something called the minimum benchmark price, which we have now, which is a price declared. This is working reasonably well across the country. But then again, when the market gets challenging and prices are very low, this too, is under stress. It becomes very difficult because how do you guarantee a fixed price when there is a volatile market and there is no assurance in terms of the final price of tea? So we've seen in the past, like in 2020, India had a huge drop in production due to COVID. And prices were good. At this time, these formulas worked really well. Everybody got the right price. I'd like to, talk a little bit about the macro position in India, and then explain in detail how this is impacting the tea industry. What you see here is, you've got the per capita income of India in the middle. And on the left, you have East India, the 2 tea-producing states of Assam and West Bengal. And on the right, you've got the southern states, the 3 states that Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka. 83% of India's tea is produced by the states on the left. And much of the increase in production has come from these 2 states purely because there was a cost advantage in the past in terms of labor wages for them to increase production. It was remunerative for small growers to do that. What you see on the right of the southern states are at around $3,000 a year per capita income, were 70% higher than the Indian per capita income. So this, the impact of this is seen. I would request you to take a little bit of time and look at this. The blue line is the wage that we have in South India. I'm talking a little bit of South India because what happens in the South will follow in East India 1 decade down the road. So we kind of lead the way, but these trends will follow and they'll be applicable to all of India. So this is the current wage that we pay. So the wage right now is $5.67 US. This is the direct wage. If we include the statutory dues of Provident Fund, bonus, medical, what is statutorily paid, nothing extra, we're talking about a wage of $9. So for a large producer that makes about a volume of about over 1 billion kgs, having this is amongst the highest wages that are paid by anywhere in the world. As a result, what you see here in that bar graph is that is the area under cultivation. It's not a linear graph because the area surveys are done every 5 or 6 years. What can be seen here in 2010 to 2011, when the survey was done, our areas under cultivation under tea dropped by 19,000 hectares. The green line that is seen as the production, we are hovering around the same levels of production for 2 decades. So due to the unremunerative nature of the industry, due to the depressed prices, we are seeing stagnant production. Now we're seeing drop in production, and we're also seeing a drop in area. The same trend can now be witnessed in Assam. The latest survey that came out in Assam, from 535,000 hectares, it has now dropped to 518,000 hectares. So there is no small grower expansion. In fact, people are moving on to other crops due to the economic situation here. So what is the way forward? So if we are to look at the solutions moving forward, one, in terms of how to augment the income of both the producers and the small growers, the Government of India and UPASI too have been working in terms of other value-added crops, fruit crops, horticultural crops, to reduce the cyclicality of this industry. To promote single origin teas, take the origin back. When in terms of exports, there are a lot of barriers in terms of promoting value-added single origin tea or smaller packing, but India is a huge domestic market, so there's a big drive to promote single origin teas, where they take the story of the tea, the region, directly to the consumer. There have been a lot of positive work that has been done and success seen by the Government of India in farmer producer organizations and other crops. So with the growth of the small grower sector and the challenges that we're facing there, so this initiative is taking ground. Hopefully by collectivizing small growers, we will be able to increase their quality and make it more remunerative. Again, to conclude, I can't stress further on the point that the price of tea is not remunerative. So there was some talk that was spoken this morning in terms of how do we give a better cup of tea to the consumer. In the Indian context, wherever pockets of quality tea are being made, equitably, the price is being passed down. People are getting good prices, the green leaf prices are good, the entire value chain is working perfectly fine. So if the demand for quality tea goes up, and simultaneously if the demand for poorer teas, because unless there's a demand, you're not going to be making these teas. So this will also address the supply situation. The excess supply can be brought down, because when you have about 53% of our production is by the smallholder sector, they have only 33% of the area. So you have 1/3 of the area contributing to more than half the production. So there are two reasons for this. One is that they have younger plantations. The other reason is that the large grower sector in India concentrates more on quality, so compromising a little bit on the yield. This clearly differentiates in terms of price. You have two different categories of pricing that are there, barring a few exceptions. So some food for thought to the buying community that is here and all the other stakeholders is, how do we get the prices up? Can we, by increasing the demand for better tea, obviously it will have an impact on the quantity. Otherwise, even if prices go up, with the amount of area that is available and the amount of small growers sector that is there, volume will go up, bringing prices crashing down again. So one of the areas for all of us to look at is in terms of what kind of an impact quality can have on this. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sri, for sharing, coming all the way down from India and sharing us the Indian story and being very open with your challenges, as well as providing quite a holistic framework of solutions.